we're going to start. This is the updated version of the City of East Chicago, Indiana's Marktown Historic District. But before I start, let me thank everyone for being here today, because I know everyone's busy and have things that they need to do. But we appreciate your attention and being here, because I think this is the most important project that we have had throughout our history here in the City of East Chicago. Are there any political individuals, councilmen, anyone like that here so that I can introduce you? No, okay, so let's move on. All right, so this is the exterior housing renovation. There are going to be 2 meetings, just to let you know. Today's one, and there's going to be one on March 28th, same time as this one here, and it'll be here. And that'll be with Mr. Walter Hagelin, the 2 gentlemen that were here the last meeting. And so what they're going to talk about are various things: financial assistance. They're going to talk about the promissory note, the forgivable loan, and various other items of discussion. I won't take anything from this, so I won't speak too much on that. But anyways, this is our process here in terms of our introduction today. There we go. So I did the introduction. There are some question cards. Hopefully you have them available, so now if you have a question, please write them down. I'll have one of my staff members hand them to me later in the day so that we can ask questions. And I want to make sure everybody can ask a question and everybody gets their answers on today. Okay, we do have one councilman here, Robert Garcia. He's way back there. I just saw him come through the door. After the question cards, we're going to look at Marktown's facade renovation general requirements. We're going to look at the install methods of Owens Corning Oak Ridge architectural asphalt shingle. Vanessa will be the next person speaking. That's Vanessa Hernandez Orange, who's our park director and recreation. Keith Selby, our roundabout updates. He's got some exciting news on the roundabout. Okay, so we'll go to the next slide. Okay, the next slide. These are the following general requirements for the renovation of the Marktown neighborhood. We're going to install methods of a 3-tab Owens Corning Oak Ridge architectural asphalt shingle. We're going to look at roofing decking, drip edge, underlayment, ice and water shield, roof flashing, asphalt shingles, ridge capping, roof vents. Shouldn't be vents, it should be vents. Okay, pipe boots. And if you have time, we do have some of those objects in the back, so that you can see some of the roof shingles and all these other things that we're going to be doing as part of all of the, what we're considering all of the people that you may be asking to fix your house up. These are the contractors. Okay, the other thing, I just seen Miss Monica, our councilwoman back there, just to let you all know as they come in, I'll announce them. The next slide that we have is existing roof shall be removed to expose decking to replace damaged wood decking. Drip edging shall be installed at asphalt roof edges, eaves, and rakes on top of ice and water shield. We're going to do some underlayment types, may either be 15 or 30 pounds felt or synthetic membrane. Ice and water shield to be installed prior to install of underlayment that's applied around chimney, over nail flashing and valleys, and around the rake and the eaves. Method of roof flashing to be determined based upon need. Types of flashing: counter flashing, chimney flashing, step flashing, head wall flashing, valley flashing, and gutter apron flashing. Just keep in mind, all these items are what you're going to be asking your particular contractor to be making sure that this follows these requirements. The next slide is the general requirement roof number 3. And its shingles shall be a 3-tab Owens Corning Architectural Series Oak Ridge asphalt shingles per manufacturer requirements. And they're back there as an illustration. Hip and ridge capping, Owens Corning Dura Ridge shingles to be used. Roof vents and pipe boots will be installed as needed in accordance with manufacturing warranty and city building codes. And those are quite important. We got to make sure that the manufacturer gives you a warranty. The other one is seamless gutters with downspouts. Gutter must slope continuously in the direction of outlets, and the downspouts shall extend a minimum of 4 feet from the house, so that water doesn't build up and it generates out the way it needs to. The next slide. Windows must be Energy Star rated with badge. Full frame replacement window method recommended. Sashes Framing and trim shall be removed and replaced. New windows shall be insulated, caulked, and sealed with self-adhesive weather tape, so that way we don't get a lot of leakage, and it helps you with your heat at home. Doors. Existing doors shall be removed and replaced along with all damaged wood framing. Rough sill area will have a self-adhesive flashing tape with a minimum of 4 inches up the sides with an overlap of 2 inches over the front opening. Prior to door installation, apply a bead of polyurethane caulk along sides to bottom and behind doors casing. All gaps will be filled with expansion foam and exterior gaps around brick molding to be packed using backer rod and caulk. One more thing while I continue. If you can you put your phone on vibrate or something else, because we don't want any distractions. We want to make sure that the information is clear. The next sheet is a continuation of general requirements. Stucco, existing surface, a stucco power washed, tap test to determine location of damaged area. Damaged area will be uniformly removed with masonry diamond blade. All damaged stucco must be removed to expose wood lathe, and any damaged lathe shall be removed and replaced. Contractor will build patches using standard methods and materials. The materials will be metal lathe, 16 to 17 gauge, Portland cement, waterproof additive trowels, screen, and stainless steel nail screws, and sheeting membrane methods, scratch coat base and coat brown coat. Contractors must ensure all patches, surfaces are properly floated and bent into existing stucco and is uniform level with existing stucco. Style and pattern of patch areas must be a close match to the existing stucco pattern. Crack repairs and elastomeric stucco caulk is going to be utilized. Paint. 2 coats of Sherwin-Williams Lexan XP masonry coating upon completion of all stucco repairs, and old paint removed will be painted using Lexan XP deep base waterproofing masonry coating. The control joints, saw cut or hand tool, must be a depth of 1/4 the thickness of existing slab. Isolation joints shall be installed where concrete abuts a structure and no broken concrete may be used with the bed. The recommended fall for finished concrete shall be minimum of 1/4 inch per foot. Cement. All cement used for concrete repair for replacement with a 6-bag mix at 94 per gauge of Portland cement with coarse aggregate 1 inch is required. Broom finish shall be delayed until all water has left the surface. Base surface is undisturbed. A minimum of 2 inches of crushed gravel can be installed without compaction, and if compaction is needed after excavation, base under the concrete must have a depth of 3 inches under concrete. We got to make sure that all that is in particular, so that way things don't fall apart. Roof shingles, and this is your design standards. Color choices of 3 Oak Ridge Owens Corning, teak, estate, and brownwood. Stucco paint color choice of 3 Sherwin-Williams Lexan XP deep base. Grace Harbor SW 6236, Smart White SW 6973, Snowbound SW 7004. Window doors, white, energy, it should be star rated. Gutters, downspouts, seamless. And then our last page, or last couple pages, I believe, I wanted to bring this back up so that way everyone will realize from the last meeting, these are the ineligible scope of work: interior work, landscaping, antennas and satellite dishes, floodlights or motion detectors, demolition, auxiliary structures. No new auxiliary structures may be constructed under this program. And again, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the homes that I had said that we were going to be creating. This is what we're intending to do. And this will be on 516, 513 School Street. So when it's completed, we're hoping to have a house visit so you can come see it. Yes, open house. There you go. Thank you. So now you can see how it's going to look in terms of the outside and the inside. and just another home view. And now we're gonna turn over to Vanessa. I'm changing the aspect of who's going next because Vanessa has some earlier commitments that she needs to attend. So she'll be up here now. I want to make sure everybody realizes that I know this is long and tedious, but your contractors must adhere to these structures. We will give this information to you so then that way you will give that to the contractors.
Good evening, my name is Vanessa Hernandez Orange and I am the Director of Parks and Recreation here for the City of East Chicago. For those, si necesitan que hable en español a rato, podemos hacer lo mismo si quieren hablar con nosotros. Si tenemos cosas atrás para ver si quieren, para los niños, a ver si quieren venir a ver. So first things first, we do have some park improvements happening. So we have the soccer field that was constructed on the Marktown side. We added just a junior court, so it's not the full court of full length, it's just junior court. And then we also added the benches that were asked for near the park trails at the playground area, as well as we are having annual maintenance. So our maintenance for our playgrounds will be starting very soon. We have someone come in from the actual companies that were previously installed it. They come in, they tell us what's needed, and then we have a contractor come in and fix all that is needed. So like the ropes that are torn or any of the mulching that needs to happen, it tells us exactly where it needs to go to. Then we'll have all that stuff taken care of there. And then we've noticed that there is the back area in between the basketball courts and that there's a building that looks like a garage. So we've noticed that that's just completely not repairable. We got it assessed. We're going to take that down. And just in case we want to do some other stuff over there in the future, at least we'll be able to, one, keep it safe because it's literally, you could go in there if you'd like, as well as the gutters and everything are falling. So for the safety of the community, we're going to tear it down and hopefully bring something there. I think I forgot to show you all that. And then we have just addressing the GFI problems. We were told this past Christmas that there wasn't enough lights here. Well, we had actually the most lights per square footage in this area compared to all the other smaller areas in East Chicago. For instance, this is probably a smaller park compared to, well, Evervale's a little smaller, but they had more Christmas lights here than in anywhere else. Problem was that they kept on turning off. We had a GFI issue and we finally addressed it, got it fixed so that we could keep the Christmas lights on. So we won't have that problem moving forward, as well as this building would have triggered with the GFI. So I know that we have had discussions of them coming back in to check out as we do improvements, more improvements to the center, what the GFI situation looks like in here too. The next thing that we did, obviously, you could see some of the changes in here. We have new flooring, and we actually already ordered interactive game tables, and we have added a new a new fridge to the back, and we have a new handicap ramp. As you can tell, when you're coming in, there was the other side of the arms for this walkway that was also added on, and we did a deep clean of this inside and outside of the two areas. And the only thing we're working on now with the library, because this is the library room, they're coming in here to end up checking all the books that are there. They're doing their storage and their count. And we also will be having upgrades to the technology in this building, all in preparation so we are able to open up. But with that, and this is actually my second to last slide, this all happens because of you guys. I need people. The only reason these little centers are not open is because of the fact that I don't have employees. I go on at least once a week to have interviews with people, and either they cannot pass a drug test, or they cannot have they don't have the driver's license, or they do not have just the proper background needed to work with kids. So it's not that the city doesn't want to hire, we're trying to hire. I'm begging people to come in. I actually asked residents from this town to come in and apply, because in order to get the smaller centers open, I need residents. I have my budget of how many people I could actually come and have apply and how many I could, I guess, hire. And I'm not even close to that. My department right now only has 11 people in my entire department. And you can see we have events happening. We have 2 recreation centers open. And unfortunately, these smaller centers, I cannot get to open until I have people. So my hope and my prayers are that you find someone that you know to apply to be a park and recreation leader so that we can open these small centers, because we hear the community. We want to make sure that we open them because they are a very important part of the community. But again, like I say, I need your help. I need the people, the residents to allow me to do that. So because we're doing revitalization in this area, we wanted to make sure to reach out to our partners to help beautify this area as well as make it long lasting like the community is. So we have these areas that are actually owned by BP, and we're bringing in the SCA team with Leo as well as Drew Hart from the forestry,
U.S. Forest Service.
U.S. Forest Service. And we are going to work on, as well as Tamara from BP, we're working on what to do in those empty areas there. So what they're going to end up doing is they're going to end up talking to you guys to see exactly what you would like to see. I know Drew and Leo would like to say a couple words in regards to this, because we want to make sure, like I told them, they said, Vanessa, what do you want to do there? And I said, you know what? It's not up to me. It's up to you guys. You guys are the ones. This is your community. I think it's your thought. I do have callers that come in and ask me. So it's not up to me. It's up to you. So they're going to tell them their strategy of how they're going to get input from the community.
Hello everybody, my name is Leo. I am the Northwest Indiana Program Manager for the Student Conservation Association. And we have a long relationship here in East Chicago, planting in the parkways and all across in the community spaces and public spaces. This project here in Marktown, we're just planting the seeds, and as Vanessa said, a lot of that relies on getting feedback from you guys. We want to know how you guys are using the spaces. We want to know like what the needs are, what the demands are. And so BP owns these plots of land. BP wants to do some plantings on it. The Student Conservation is its own entity, but we're here to partner with East Chicago Parks, the local residents and communities, as well as BP to get some of the much needed work done. So I'm going to be hanging out. I know we only have a little bit of time here, so I want to allow some time for my colleague Drew to come up and introduce himself, but we're going to be hanging out. If folks have any other questions or kind of want to plant some seeds on our end, feel free to flag me down and come find me. But I'll pass it over to Drew.
Thanks, Leo, and thanks, Vanessa, and the City of East Chicago. Really excited to be here on a part of the Community Tree Program, which serves Northwest Indiana. And this is a program that over the past 6 years, we've planted over 10,000 trees. And we've planted a few trees here, actually in the Marktown area. If some of you may remember, back in Arbor Day, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, we were here to plant trees with you. We'd like to continue that partnership with the Student Conservation Association. And what I'll share with you is the importance of strategically planting trees throughout your community. What we know is that trees can act as a vegetative buffer, capturing particulate matter and cleaning the air. So when we see these sites, we see the possibility of planting very appropriate trees that will help capture that particulate matter, clean the air, beautify your neighborhood. And we'd love to invite you, as Leo mentioned, to give us your feedback, how you'd like to use these sites and where you would like to see trees planted. And we'd also, of course, like to invite you to come out and help us plant when we do. So thanks so much for your partnership, and we look forward to beautifying your neighborhood with all of the other beautifications that are happening that you're talking about this evening. We feel that trees can really help create that vision and then create the reality of a greener, more beautiful Marktown. So thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. And again, just like usual, they're gonna come by, and I know the team, what they decided is they're gonna do surveys, knock on doors, get you guys to kind of give your information, as well as we need, just if you have volunteers, I know I've talked to some people, once we get centers open, obviously, we'll allow volunteers to come in, and we just need your help. Please send people my way so that we can make sure to open up the smaller centers. And I think that's it for me. There's flyers in the back, so meanwhile the centers are not open, the recreation centers are open, so Unity and Heritage both are open. We also have events happening. We have an Easter egg drive-through, we have an autism walk happening, we have senior citizen bingo that's gonna happen, we have a trip going to Orwins, and we have Arbor Day happening at Smith Park. And we also have invasion volleyball for our young ladies, if they're interested, or gentlemen are interested to participate. So things are still happening in Parks and Recreation. I just wish it was closer to here, but come visit us at our other locations.
Thank you, Vanessa. There's a couple more items that I wanted to mention as well. Along with BP, we did meet with them last week, Chief of Staff and other members of the staff. And there was conversation about trees, but we're also going to be participating in that same process too, to revitalize the area with trees and those things, even the parks, all these kind of nice little things that we want to be able to enhance the area. The other thing too is, I had mentioned that on the 28th, we're gonna have Walter Hagwin here, he's from Urban Design, and if you recall, he had all those little maps up here. He's coming to, and please, don't get nervous when he starts walking around, he's looking at the infrastructure, he's gonna be looking at other items, so that way he can list these things that we're gonna be improving on. And the other thing too is we're gonna start taking applications that day. That'll be on the 28th. Okay, and our next guest speaker is Mr. Keith Salvi, our project manager.
Well, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Keith Selby. I'm the Director of Project Management for here for the City of East Chicago. What I wanted to do this evening was give a quick update on the 5th District projects that we have going, starting with the Marktown Roundabout. As you guys remember, this particular project was a $1.8 million construct. We have a couple of final punch list items that we need to complete. What we've been waiting for is just the weather to put down some new sod around the roundabout itself, as well as do some curb painting, as well as pavement marking. I also wanted to give the update that we finalized our plans with NIPSCO to do the relocation of the utility poles that are currently sitting in the middle of the roundabout itself. That particular project from NIPSCO will be completed hopefully on August 1st. Subsequently thereafter, we'll begin our project of installing the actual structure or the sculpture that's going to sit in the center of the roundabout itself. Contractors are saying somewhere between 30 to 45 days, so that will probably put us in the neighborhood of September 30th completion. Another project that I wanted to bring up here in the 5th District, we're excited about, is our 129th and Dickey Streetscape project. The last time I was here, I mentioned that we were in the process of soliciting bids, and that has happened. This $3.5 million construct with the limits between 129th and Michigan Avenue will be anticipated start date of May 1st. What we're going to be doing for scope of work is going to be replacing all the asphalt along that stretch. We're going to basically do concrete and curb patching through that stretch as well. We're going to be bringing in some brand new fixtures along the stretch, as well as curb painting, pavement markings, as well as we're going to be replacing some sidewalk along that square as well. That limit as well. The anticipated completion date is November 1st. We're excited about that. We're also working with NIPSCO on the further stretch down by the Michigan Avenue area to increase the lighting along their poles. I think there's approximately 5 or 6 of their NIPSCO poles that we're going to add lights to. So when you come from under the actual Klein Avenue, that stretch along prior to the drawbridge will have that well lit as well. The last thing too is that, we're just going to continue on with the aesthetics of the actual neighborhood. I was tasked with providing brand new signage here in Marktown. It'll look very similar to what we have on this particular slide. It's just going to be a lot larger in both the locations, I believe, off of Riley as well as here off of Dickey. In closing, as I always say, construction, repairs, enhancements always come with some form or fashion of inconvenience. And I just want to thank, the residents here in Marktown for their patience while we're doing our construction, as well as if there are any questions, you can feel free to give myself or the engineering department a call. Thank you.